So the setup for this particular example, well, this time it's all together in one paragraph, so we had to break it down here in a moment. We're going to choose our propositional variables here in a second. But again, I want you to notice, like the other example, in our propositional variables, we're not including the nots in there. So be very careful. We're also choosing not adding the thens that you see being highlighted or already highlighted in the text itself. These are very basic propositional statements that will add those features in. So as we move on here, we're going to add P, Q, and R, which John works hard. John is having fun. Again, we can negate it later. And then John is making friends. So that's our first part of our propositional variable setup. The next part is creating our translation into propositional logic. And it's marrying the thens into implications. It's marrying the nots to the variables and all of that stuff that you hopefully have seen before. And that's what we get here with a P. P implies a negated Q, and you can see the rest of them there. And our conclusion is going to be a negated R, which is John will not make any friends. So again, our R was John making friends, but again, it really imply the conclusion in the overall wording of our problem, John will not make any friends. Compared to my other mappings, this is easy. Everything's connected. So this really should be a very short setup going from P straight to our negated R. So let's get this done. So first we're going to start with P. P is our premise, nothing crazy about that. And now we'll use our next premise to kind of travel here from P to implies negated Q. So that's our second premise, and we're just basically following the mapping here of how we can get to our negated R. Now, the interesting part is our negated Q, we've got to kind of make sure that we can break that apart and make sure we can set that that is perfectly true. And we can do that in line number 3 using modus ponens when we've negated on 1 and line 2. And that'll get us our negated Q. So let's now use that last premise of negated Q implies negated R. Well, now we've gotten to our negated R, we've just got to prove it now. And frankly, we can using, in our line number 5, modus ponens again, negated on 3 and 4, since we got to determine that negated R is true. We've done it with modus ponens, and we are done.